Anybody that fishes hard baits quite a bit is going to run into a situation where you're going to need to start replacing the hooks on your hard baits. And as you can see from this SP minnow here, it's caught a lot of fish. The front treble's missing two of its tines. The back one's got them bent out and bent back. This bait is pretty much unfishable at this point. But the good news is that you can replace the hooks on these baits with new ones that have basically a brand new bait. Now, there's a lot of different treble hooks on the market that'll work. I fish owner, just because I've had a lot of experience with them. I like the hooks. They come in two styles. They come in a black chrome. And they come in a it's called a anti-rust tin finish. The tin finish are very durable, but I don't really like them on the smaller baits. I like the black chrome. I don't know why, it's just personal preference. I'm sure they're both exactly the same. These hooks come in different strengths as well. They come in a 2X strong, which you'll see there, a 3X, and a 4X. I'll go with the 2X strong hooks on baits that I want to potentially bend a hook out on if I get it snagged in the rocks. An example of that would be a crankbait or something I'm fishing around structure. This is the stock hooks on this Berkeley dredger. This hook broke off. If it was a 2X, I might have just bent it out on the rock or whatever. It's a lot easier just to replace the hook than it is to buy a new crankbait. So you don't want to use a 4X hook on something you're going to be dragging around to the rocks, because once you get it on there, it's going to be stuck pretty good. Other than, you also need split rings. So whenever you replace your hooks, you're going to replace your split rings. And I always go with the owner Hyperwire split rings. And they come in different strengths. This is a size 5. It's 60 pound. I think I'll have a size 5 here, but like the bigger ones, they'll go up to 80 or 90 pound wire. So you want to fish something that's appropriate to your bait. What I'll do is I'll look at the size of the ring that was on there and match it up with an owner. And the size 5 is pretty standard for most hard baits and crankbaits, unless you get into the smaller stuff or much bigger stuff. There's a couple other situations where you're going to want to change your hooks out. First off is a bait like this Rapala Risto wrap. This is a vintage bait I got on eBay, but it has these I don't even know what this hook material is called, but it bends very easy. I snagged at my pant leg while I was in rod holder and straightened out 2 hooks. So if you have some less than optimal hooks, I'm going to switch these out before I fish them. And you're going to change your rings out. Whenever you change your rings out on any bait, also change out the ring that you tie your loop to. And if the bait doesn't have one, you should add it. I don't think it says SP minnow comes with one, but we add one on here. Gives you an extra point of pivot. Another situation where you're going to switch out your hooks is if you get a freshwater bait like this Lucky Craft that has 3 hooks. 3 hooks on any bait, saltwater, is just problems. Often enough, you get 2 fish on there, you don't want 3. So this bait, you can very easily remove this hook, and you can even go with a slightly upsized hook on this bait, and it won't affect the action. So basically what I found is that shallow running baits and crankbaits are not as affected, shallow running baits are not as affected by a hook upgrade as crankbaits are, size-wise. You can go up 1 step. Problem that people have with crankbaits is the hooks are very close together. If you get bigger hooks, they'll often hook around one another. See, this is designed to not hook each other. But if you go up 1 size, you're going to get tangled, and then you're going to have wasted casts. The final situation where you're going to change out your hooks is on a bait you're fishing for bigger tuna or things like this. Like this Rapala Subwalker, which is a freshwater bait. It comes with a light wire hook, similar to that black owner hook. Actually has a feather tied on it. I replaced this with a 2.0 4X strength owner treble hook and a much bigger split ring. This bait didn't swim very good in the beginning, and it swims even worse now, but luckily they don't really look for swimming action on this bait. They're looking for, they just see it moving through the water, they come bite, and they got big hooks, and they're not going to give out. I've broken these baits in half on fish where the wire came out of the side of the bait and the hooks held up and everything else. And as you can see, these hooks are pretty rusty, so if I don't lose this bait next season, I'll probably swap out the hooks after a couple more trips. And on these types of bigger hooks, if you bend one, you need to replace it before you fish that bait again, because they lose some of their integrity when they bend, and once they bend once, they'll keep bending. So whenever you bend out a hook, especially on a bigger bait you're going to be pulling really hard on, replace that hook before your next trip. So that's basically it. Crankbaits, hard baits, big tuna baits, whatever. Swap out those treble hooks. You can go with a 2X on your crankbaits, you can go up to a 3X on your bigger hard baits, SP minnows, those types of things. And on your tuna stuff, go with the 4X.